Okay, we've all been there, right? That feeling of anxiety, that sudden wave of panic. Well, today, we're going to dig into a really practical toolkit from a place you might not expect, ancient Stoicism. We're going to see how it gives us a direct, hands-on strategy for navigating those exact moments. So let's just dive right in.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Anxiety isn't some far-off worry about the future. No, it's a powerful, persuasive voice that is screaming in the here and now, demanding that you believe it. It feels like an undeniable truth.
And that's because the whole experience is just so physical. It's not just in your head. I mean, you can feel your heart hammering against your ribs, your breath gets all tight in your throat, your entire body is sending you signals that something is terribly, terribly wrong. And that makes it almost impossible to ignore.
Now, you might be surprised to hear this, but the Stoics were no strangers to this feeling. They totally understood this deceptive grip that panic can have on us. And they didn't try to, deny fear or just pretend it wasn't there. Instead, they got laser-focused on how to respond to it effectively when it shows up.
In that response, it all starts with this fundamental shift in your mindset. See, the core idea of Stoicism is pretty radical. It's not actually what happens to us that causes all our distress, but it's how we think about what happens. The real power isn't in the event itself, it's in our interpretation.
This line, from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, this is basically the master key to their entire approach. So here's the crucial part. The panic isn't the racing heart. The panic is the story you're telling yourself about why your heart is racing. And that little distinction, it changes everything.
This slide really breaks it down perfectly. So on the left, you've got the sensation. That's just the raw, physical data. My heart is racing. That's a fact. But over on the right, you've got the story. That's your interpretation. Oh no, I'm in danger. The entire Stoic approach is about creating a little bit of space, a pause, right between those two columns. So the goal here isn't to pretend the sensation isn't happening. Not at all. It's to tell a more accurate story about it. And this is the technique in a nutshell. You simply relabel the experience. You take it from, this is catastrophic, down to, okay, this is uncomfortable. It sounds so simple, but that little shift in language is an incredibly powerful tool for dialing down the panic.
So how do you actually do this, when your mind is screaming and your body's in full-on alarm mode? Well, the Stoics didn't just leave us with a cool theory. They gave us a clear, step-by-step process we can use right in the thick of it, a really practical toolkit. And here it is, the whole framework. It's just 4 steps. Calm the body first, separate the sensation from the story, focus on what you control, and remember it will pass. This is our roadmap for getting through the storm.
All right, step 1. It all starts with the body. The Stoics knew you can't reason with the brain that's in fight or flight. It's just not going to work. So you don't even try to argue with your thoughts yet. First, you just ground yourself, physically. Slow down your breathing, try to make your exhale longer than your inhale, feel your feet planted on the floor. The goal is to get your body out of emergency mode first.
Okay, once that physical storm has calmed down, even just a little bit, you can move on to step 2. This is where you bring out that crucial reframing technique we were just talking about. You have to actively say to yourself, okay, this is uncomfortable. It is, but it is not catastrophic. You are consciously choosing a more accurate, less terrifying story.
Step 3 brings us to a core Stoic practice, what they call the dichotomy of control. This slide lays it out so clearly. Look, you cannot control that initial wave of anxiety or the physical feeling that comes with it. Trying to just will it away is pointless, but look at what you can control. How you breathe, the words you use to talk to yourself, and the very next thing you decide to do. That's where your power is.
And finally, step 4. Think of this as your anchor in reality. You just have to zoom out for a second and remember, you've been here before. And every single time, without exception, that wave of panic eventually broke and pulled back. Your own history is the best proof you have that this feeling, no matter how intense it gets, is temporary.
So this brings us to a final and maybe the most important point about this whole Stoic approach. It's really about shifting our entire definition of what success even looks like when we're dealing with anxiety.
This quote just completely reframes the goal, doesn't it? The aim isn't some perfect life where you never feel anxiety again. That's just not realistic. The real aim is to get skilled at meeting anxiety when it shows up. Success isn't the absence of the feeling, it's a competent, steady response to it.
So every time that feeling comes up, it's not a failure.
It's not a sign that you're weak or broken, it's an opportunity to practice. Each time you choose to slow your breath, to reframe your story, and to focus on what you can control, you're not just surviving it, you are actively training. You're building real mental strength.
So we've walked through the Stoic way of thinking in this really practical 4-step toolkit. The power, it turns out, isn't about getting rid of anxiety, but in how we choose to meet it. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Armed with this ancient wisdom, the next time anxiety arrives at your door, what's your first move going to be?